Is Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. I saw this, I don't know if you can see, it's the number 6, and I thought it was drawn on. And actually speaking to some other people, actually their books also actually have the number 6 on it. So I thought that for 1 minute that someone damaged this book, but actually it's just part of the cover, I think. The language is very sharp, very quick, and very funny as well. It's written in the style of chapter in verse, so let me show you here. Like that. It's a collection of a couple of short stories of mainly women, black women from all sorts of backgrounds. They are kind of like either related or they know each other. So it touches up on a few thoughts that I've had as well, where it's when it's girl, woman, other. So you have you've got heterosexuality, you've got homosexuality, you've got bisexuality, also pansexuality. I really like the story about Morgan, I think. Is it Morgan? Megan stroke Morgan, where she's born a woman, but she feels like she feels like she's a man born into a woman's body, and she doesn't actually want to have a sexuality. She doesn't want to be called she, and she doesn't want to be called he either. So you refer her later on as they or their. So she's in love with a woman who was born male, and she was transitioning at the time. And I've been thinking this too as well, actually, where bit more about pansexuality, where are you in love with that person, just that person, and not their sexuality? Can everyone be 100% attracted to males or 100% attracted to females? Or it just depends on the person, depends on that chemistry with that person. Should we be labelled as a sexuality? It doesn't really matter to other people, but doesn't matter to myself or to yourself. If you're just attracted to somebody, you're just attracted to somebody. Do we need to label it? So this kind of develops a little bit more into it, and it's really good. I love it. I love how it's thought-provoking, and I'm really enjoying this. I read it very quickly, something that I really recommend it. This is This is long listed for the Booker Prize 2018. So at the moment, I'm going to read a couple of those as and when I see them. And this one so far, I've read My Sister the Serial Killer, which is good. I enjoyed it, but I think, this definitely is miles ahead. So I would really recommend this one. Then my next book is Methos by Stephen Fry. This is, I absolutely love Stephen Fry. I love him on QI, I loved him on Blackadder. There's a few films that he's in. He's in The Hobbit as well. Just, small character, but he's so funny, naturally funny. His comedy timing is perfect. I didn't know that he actually wrote books either. So this is the first Stephen Fry book that I've read, because I love so this year I've been reading Circe, and I've been reading Silence of the Girls based on Greek mythology, and I just wanted to know a bit more about the Greek mythology. It's really intriguing. I loved the story how men came about. Zeus got bored and he wanted to create some toys to play with as pass his boredom, to pass his time with. The story about Pandora's box, well, it's supposed to be called Pandora's jar because it was a jar, but we all call it Pandora's box. She was forbidden to open it, and by opening it she unleashed all these, well, I won't spoil it for you, and she left one element in there. I loved the story about Eros and Psyche. Eros, can't remember which way around it is, whether the Greek is called Eros and Roman is called Cupid, I think, and they represent love and soul. I love that story that love and soul are together and destined to be together. There was a bit of trial and tribulations like all relationships, so I like that very much. I loved how there's a couple of like paintings in there in the book, and my absolute favourite is of Venus, Porcelli's Birth of Venus. If you can see that, my favourite quote of the book was, "Human civilization has made spiteful laws, and what nature allows, the jealous laws forbid." I just thought it was really poetic about that. And I liked where a lot of our modern words and our logos even have come from the Greek mythology. For example, I think it is Dionysus. He's born immortal. He's really good at medicine. He's good at curing like the basically impossible, and he was awarded to turn into a god for his great skill in medicine. And he carried a staff made crafted into the shape of a snake. And so to this day you'll see some practices and clinics actually have that logo of the snake either entwined around the staff, either one or two snakes, I think, and it's because it's come from that Greek mythology. And then you've got Narcissus, who was so beautiful he fell in love with his own reflection, and so that's where we get narcissism and narcissistic. Really, really good read. I loved it. It's so easy to read, and I've battered it a bit. So yeah, so give it a go. I really, really loved this. And my next one is Jane Austen's Mansfield Park. And now I tried the audiobook of this, and I think I just don't like audiobooks because albeit I was going through this book a lot quicker with audiobook, but I wasn't engaging with the speaker, and I wasn't really paying much attention. And so I think halfway through I put it down and just read the actual physical copy of the book. I preferred that much more. And so this is about the house at Mansfield Park. Surrounds a girl called Fanny. She goes to stay at her uncle's and auntie's house and is brought up there. She's quite a quiet girl. She's quite meek, and I think I don't know, maybe the modern me is trying to say, you know, speak up for yourself. You're much better than this, and tell him you don't like him just talking about Mary Crawford all the time. You know, didn't really. I could see the love from Fanny's part for Edmund, but I couldn't really see the love from Edmund to Fanny more than a sisterly love. So I wasn't really convinced about that romance. I like the drama behind it, and I like there's a kind of a play within the book. There's a word for that, and I can't remember what it is though. But I really like that bit. But this isn't one of my favourites, albeit is much better than Emma that I read. I haven't enjoyed, maybe because I haven't enjoyed the last two Jane Austen books. I'm feeling a bit. Although one of my work colleagues is insisting that Northanger Abbey is really good, I'm just not very confident. So that was that one. So the next one is Tilman by Sarah Winman, and this had me in tears by the end. It's a beautiful story between Michael and Ellis, and these two boys, where they grew up and that relationship, and it really tugs your heart, where you might love someone, and at the moment you both loved each other or thought it might be love, but then later on that other person no longer feels the same, but you haven't moved on, and it's really, really heartbreaking. And there's a moment where how do you recover from that? Is it ever going to be any different? Are you going to find love again? And going through that is really hard, and and it's amazing that in such a slight book it's drummed up all those emotions in you. How you want to be happy for that person, and you are genuinely happy for that person, but that person still captivates you. That person still holds your heart, even though they're not trying to. It's beautiful story, and I won't spoil it, like what happens, but it made me cry, and it was beautiful story. When she changes her point of view between Alice and Michael, they are different people. Their personalities, the writing style, what they say is very different. I find quite a lot of the time where the author changes character, they don't change the style, and you feel that they're kind of like the same person but just with a different story. But what Sarah Winman has beautifully done is I truly believe that they are two different people, and they have two different personalities. The way that they speak, the way that they think, what they do, what they say, what they wear, that's great. I mean, it's beautiful writing. So that's 4 books this month. It's been quite busy this month. I had my friend's wedding, which I was a bridesmaid to, and we've been on a few seaside breaks. We went to Bournemouth and we went to Brighton, and which I'll probably wrap that up in a kind of like a little montage for August. And I'm actually surprised that I actually managed to fit in 4 books. I am currently reading The Plus One. It's about the male lead is got a wedding invite, and she's going to work on in the year trying to find someone to take as her plus one to the wedding. So that's my wrap up for August. Have you read any of those? And let me know if you've read any of them. If you've read Plus One or reading Plus One, you can leave some comments and we could have a little discussion about it. So looking forward to September. Happy reading. I don't have Girl, Woman, Other with me because I had to take that back to the library. So, you got this?